Hi, welcome to the first in this series of videos about H4 plugins, what they are, how they work, what they can do for you, how much easier they can make your life when trying to program ESP8266 and 32, especially if you want to run multiple tasks at the same time. Probably gone out and bought some of these. You probably also went out and bought some of these. So you probably want to start flashing. But before you do, there's some things you need to know. If you're anything like me, you probably want to dive straight in anyway. So before we do, let's just say that ESP8266 is not an Arduino. The reasons which we'll come on to in later videos, you cannot program them the same way that you used to program other MCUs. That's why H4 Plugins was developed, so that you don't have to worry about that complexity. It sorts it all out for you. And for that reason, that's why you need it. But let's go and dig straight in now, like those impatient vultures, about what it is and what it can do for you. So here's our Blinky running on a Node MCU in the middle of the pack there. Pretty much anything with an ESP8266 or an ESP32 will run H4 plugins. In the bottom left hand corner you can see the very simple 11-line program that flashes that built-in LED once per second. Okay, let's step it up a gear now. We've got the Blinky running, which is one of the simpler sketches using H4 plugins. As you can see, it's also only 11 lines, but it looks very different. We've got connections to Wi-Fi. We've got connections to an MQTT server. We've also got something in there called a UPnP server, and that does many things, but the main thing it does is it allows, I can't say her name otherwise she will react, but her who must be obeyed electronically to switch on and off that device. So for example, Alexa, switch off Blinky. And there you go. That doesn't happen in a normal sketch. Let's get it flashing back on, and then I'm going to change over the screen and show you a few more things that come built into those 11 lines. Alexa, switch on Blinky. Okay, stand by for some more options for turning that on and off, which come built into the code that you're looking at. Okay, let's look at some other ways we can control this. The Node MCU is currently sitting on a very tatty and cracked old tablet of mine, which is running a fabulous little program called Touch Portal. I'll put a link in the description below, but it allows you to use it as what some people know as a stream deck. So you can use graphical buttons to send commands to the PC. One of the commands that H4 plugins will respond to is a REST API call to the HTTP interface that it runs. So it runs its own web server internally. Let's just have a quick look at that. So on the right hand side, that's the actual web server running inside the Node MCU. So there's one additional way we can put the thing off or on, is using the switch, the big red button as we call it. It's a green button when it's on. See also that the LED, the little screen LED, tries to follow the real one as close as it can, and it's even the same colour, which is nice. So there we have another method. So as well as responding to HTTP REST commands, which can get sent by this touch portal software, and I've set it up so that if I touch this one, it sends the REST command to turn it off, and if I touch it again, it sends the REST command to turn it on. In all cases, you can see the web user interface tries to follow what the device is doing in the real world. That all comes built in. Top left of the screen, you can see that the device appears in the Windows Network Explorer as well, which means that you can control it from the desktop of your PC. So let me just get a click into there. Double click on there, it brings up the web screen which we've already got. That's a quick way of finding it, so you don't need to know what the IP address is, but it's just whatever the device name is, .local. In our case, voice Blinky, we've called it .local. That would find that. But you can also bring up a property page to find out information about the device, as you can with any other device, but all of the H4 plugins automatically connect and register with Windows. There's a right-click menu to enable you to turn them on and off that way too. So I will just turn those off, and we will look at some more ways. A little more variety for you. First of all, let's look at the fact that we have the serial cable connected still to the IDE. And what that allows us to do is to talk serial to it. So I've typed in the command help, which shows you a list of all the commands that the device will respond to, and we'll look in all of those in a lot of detail as we go through the videos in this series. But for the moment, the only one that we need to know about is that all commands start H4 to differentiate them from your own commands that you can add when you start putting your own code in. And we have a thing called toggle, which just inverts the state. So it's currently on. If I send that, what happened there? Did I type that wrong? Just because I'm looking one way. Yeah, I said tiggle. Sorry, my mistake. I'm going to leave that in. It doesn't respond to tiggle. It should respond to toggle. There we go. And you'll see something else that's happened as well. Automatically, it's reported its state in the MQTT spy window. So you'll see down there's a line that says voice Blinky state 0. So that allows you to then monitor the state of all your devices using MQTT, because they automatically report when they turn on and off. By the same token, you can also use MQTT commands to turn it back on. So if I publish voice Blinky H4 toggle, then it turns on again. So H4 toggle from the serial, voice Blinky H4 toggle from MQTT, because obviously MQTT has to know the device to send it to. If you know the IP address of the beast, you can send IP address /rest/H4 toggle. All of those will turn the device on and off. And finally in this section, using another of my favourite pieces of software, a thing called NodeRed, and if you don't know about NodeRed, you must. I again will leave a link in the description below, but it enables you to put together code in a graphical way by linking nodes with flows, and you can do all sorts of things. For example, here is a quick summary of several of my devices that I am currently testing and getting ready for the rollout. Now, for various reasons which I won't go into too much detail, the Node MCU isn't currently listed on there. Let's just sort these into order. And briefly, the reason is because I've changed its name. I changed its name to Voice Blinky for this demo, and because its name is different from what it would normally be in this list, the list doesn't now show it. However, I can show you the kind of thing that would happen. Obviously, you click on the link here, it jumps you to the internal web server as we've seen before. But let's just watch the kind of flexibility that you can get with H4Plugins. Alexa, switch on master bedroom. There you go. And automatically we get the little lightning symbol in there showing that it's on. So you can see from anywhere in your Wi-Fi range what's on and what's off. And you can also use that to, I'm not going to bother turning the camera around. You can take my word for it. That clicking on it should turn it off. There we go, it's gone. So that's just another way of controlling the device. I think you can see that 11 lines of code, the same as a normal Blinky, isn't that much extra effort, but you get quite a lot of additional functionality. Now, in the following series of videos, I'm going to look in detail at how H4Plugins works, why you need to use it. Apart from this additional flexibility, there's some other good reasons. So we're going to go into a lot of detail about how to use it, how to deploy it. I'm going to go through multiple examples. There are 85 example sketches in the library for you to try out all the features of it, because it's not just switching on LEDs that it does. It can do a variety of other things, and we'll go through those in the fullness of time. So look, if you like what you've seen, and if you think you're going to be using H4 and H4Plugins, then please subscribe to the channel, click the notification icon so that you don't miss any, and you can pick up the latest tips and hints on how to use it. Thank you all for watching and listening, and I look forward to making you the next one very soon.